Think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. Remember me once in a while, please promise me you'll try. When you find that once again you long to take your back and be free, if you ever find a moment, spare a thought for me. Things we've shared unseen. Don't think about the things which might have Recall those days, look back on all those times, think of the things we'll never do. There will never be a day when I won't think Angel of music, guide and guardian, grant to me your glory. Father once spoke of an angel. I used to dream he'd appear. Now as I sing, I can sense him, and I know he's here. Angel of music, guide and guardian, grant to me your glory. Angel of music, hide no longer, sacred and strange and Sleepy sanctuary, in dreams he came, that voice which calls to me and speaks my name. And do I dream again? For now I find the friend of the eyes there inside my mind. nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you. Promise me that all you say is true. That's all I ask of.
I am Grand Marshal Aaron Beadle, and I would like to call to order the commencement of the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science of the State University of New York at Binghamton. Everyone, please rise as you are able. We welcome you to join vocalist Ria Bolander in singing the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars for the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs burst in the
Everyone, please be seated.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Dean Srihari, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science commencement ceremony. This is a special ceremony as we bring together our master's and baccalaureate candidates, as well as their families and friends. Congratulations to you all. Before we proceed with our ceremony, I would like to welcome members of the Binghamton University Council who are joining us today. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Catherine Grant Madigan, Linda Beamer. I would also like to introduce other special guests who sit with us on the stage this morning. They will please stand as I call their names. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. President Harvey Stenger, Provost Donald Hall, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Aaron Beadle, Grand Marshal, Associate Professor and Chair of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and Chair of the Faculty Senate, Paul Sherrod, Professor and Chair, Mechanical Engineering, Sheila Doyle, Executive Director, Binghamton University Foundation, Elishiva Izar, Student Association President, Lisa Gallagher, Senior Assistant Dean for Finance and Human Resources, Madhusudan Govindaraju, Vice Provost, International Education and Global Affairs, and Professor of Computer Science, Dr. Deborah Hubble, Assistant Dean of Academic Affairs, Pong Yu Wong, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering and Director of the Engineering Design Division, Courtney Ignari, Chair of the Professional Staff Senate, Carmen Jones, Assistant Dean, Academic Diversity and Inclusive Excellence, Karen Jones, Vice President for Diversity, Equity and Inclusion, Mohammed Kasavne, SUNY Distinguished Professor and Chair of Systems Science and Industrial Engineering, and Director of the Watson Institute for Systems Excellence, Wei Meng, SUNY Distinguished Service Professor and Chair of Computer Science, Pamela Mission, Platform Party Marshal, Professor of Environmental Studies and Chief Sustainability Officer, Joanne Navarro, Vice President for Operations, Peter Patel, Senior Associate Dean, Academic Affairs and Administration, Brian Rose, Vice President for Student Affairs, Clara Rodriguez, Student Speaker, Basil Sultan, Student Speaker, Douglas Somerville, Chair, Electrical and Computer Engineering, Kara Tredal, Alumni Association President, Govindaswamy Viswanathan, Honorary Degree Recipient, Founder and Chancellor, Vellore Institute of Technology, Kaiming Ye, SUNY Distinguished Professor, Chair of Biomedical Engineering. I would also like to introduce our guest from Vellore Institute of Technology, joining us on the stage today, Vice President Shankar Viswanathan, Vice President Sekhar Viswanathan, and Vice President Selvam Viswanathan. Please join me in applauding these special guests. Will all the faculty on the stage and in the audience please rise as you are able? I would like to recognize all of the esteemed faculty members who have mentored and guided our graduates. Your efforts have been crucial to the intellectual growth and achievements we celebrate today. We would also like to acknowledge the efforts of our staff, many of whom who are here today, volunteering at this ceremony. Please join me as we applaud their support of and dedication to the success of our students. I would also like to thank the Binghamton University Wind Symphony, our vocalist, and the Edward P. Maloney Memorial Pipe Band for their participation in today's celebration. Again, welcome to our celebration of the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science, Class of 2024. President Stenger, Provost Hall, distinguished guests, Chancellor Viswanathan, VIT administration, faculty and staff, graduates, parents, family and friends, and of course, our dear students. I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this delightful celebration. To our students, today marks a celebration of your triumphs, your perseverance, and your strength. Your dedication has played a pivotal role in your achievements here at Binghamton University and in Watson College, thriving within or exceptional academic setting. We collectively take pride in your successes and commendable feats. Embrace this moment fully. Undoubtedly, these past 4 years haven't been without their challenges. Yet, there is evidence that your academic triumphs stem from your unwavering, concentrated efforts. Take the time to express gratitude to one another, to your family, and to all those who supported you on this journey. Be grateful and be proud. You did it. Congratulations to each one of you. As some of you may know, this is my last commencement ceremony as Dean of the Watson College. Over my tenure on our campus, I've had many wonderful experiences. For over 35 years now, it has been a distinct honor to work with numerous graduate students who have been supported through research projects funded by industry. Today, the Watson Institute for Systems Excellence, which had its first sponsored project in May 1989, is still thriving. Over the years, I have seen the renovation of the engineering building and the creation of the ITC campus. I've had the pleasure of working with individuals who had significant impacts in the engineering field worldwide. I have celebrated Watson's 30th and 40th anniversaries and seen the transformation of Watson from a school to a college. Over my 36 years as a faculty member and the last 15 as dean, I've been through good times and challenging times. When I came to the United States in 1983 to begin my graduate work, I never imagined that one day I would serve as the dean of a top-ranked college and work with wonderful colleagues and amazing students like you. I am very lucky. I've always said that it is the people, our faculty, our staff, and our students who have made Watson College and Binghamton University into what it is today. Your Watson College has been and will always be dedicated to education, dedicated to our principal customer, you, the student. Thank you for making Watson what it is. Your impact as a student on our campus extends beyond the grades you achieved or the projects that you have completed. The time you spent in the classroom and outside of the classroom make Watson and our university great. And you will continue to do that as alumni of this premier institution. As you stand on the cusp of this new chapter in your life, it is essential to remember that your education does not end here. In fact, it is just the beginning. The world is constantly evolving, presenting new challenges and opportunities that will demand your creativity, adaptability, and your determination. Listen, be brave, be inquisitive, but always be respectful. Seek a mentor, be a mentor. I urge you to remain curious. Never stop asking questions, seek knowledge, and challenge the status quo. Embrace diversity in all its forms, for it is through understanding and respect for others that we truly grow as individuals and as a society. Perhaps more importantly, or most importantly, remember to be courageous. Have the courage to pursue your passions, even in the face of uncertainty. Have the courage to stand up in what you believe, even when it's not easy. And have the courage to fail, for it is through failure that we learn, we grow, and ultimately we succeed. As you leave our campus and venture out into the world, know that you carry with you the hopes and dreams of those who have supported you, your families, your friends, and your professors. They have invested in you because they believe in your potential to make a difference in the world. Once again, congratulations. It is now my pleasure to introduce our president, Dr. Harvey Stenger.
Thank you, Hari. Coming in hot, Dave. Whoa, Watson! Woo! Just want to make sure you're all awake. Good morning and welcome. Congratulations to the class of 2024. First, let me recognize the parents, family, and friends who are here today to share in the joy of watching a loved one reach a special life milestone. Your support was essential to your graduate success. On behalf of the graduating class, please accept our gratitude. I also want to recognize the faculty and staff members who have mentored and guided our graduates. Your efforts have been critical to the intellectual growth and achievements we celebrate today. Thank you, faculty and staff. I want to take a moment to recognize Dean Hari Srihari, who is transitioning after leading Watson College since 2009. Dean Srihari first joined Binghamton University as a faculty member in 1988. In addition to his scholarship and his teaching, Dean Srihari has led a remarkable transformation of the Watson College, expanding enrollment, increasing research expenditures, and truly making Watson one of the best colleges of its kind in the world. Since 2009, Watson's graduate enrollment has increased by 103%. Total enrollment is up 49%. And total faculty count has grown by 41%. And over the last decade, Hari has been instrumental in expanding opportunities for faculty and staff through partnerships and programs with other colleges and universities around the world. Most of all, Dean Srihari has been a tremendous leader, a mentor and a friend to so many at Binghamton University. Hari, thank you for all that you've done for Watson College. It is my honor to present you the University Medal, the highest honor bestowed by Binghamton University. This award is given to recognize truly great achievements and excellence and a distinguished commitment to the university. Hari, please come forward and accept the medal. Did you expect this?
No, I had no clue. Until 2 minutes ago. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. To our graduates, I encourage you to think back to the start of your journey here. What drew you here? You had some interest in one of Watson's programs, and you envisioned coming here to learn more, to gain knowledge, and prepare yourself for a career. You started to delve into theory and practice. Your interests becoming deeper and more refined. Some of you will be diving right into your careers. Others are going on to graduate or professional schools. No matter which path you take, I hope that Binghamton was the avenue for finding your passion and that you continue to renew your discovery of learning. We live in a world that needs engineering professionals who can think critically, analyze precisely, address complex ideas, and solve difficult challenges. We live in a world that is full of puzzles, and finding answers will always be difficult. But I'm confident that the class of 2024 will rise to these challenges because I've seen you as students, how you've worked across disciplines as committed and engaged engineers. I look forward to learning of your many future successes, and I hope that you will remain steadfast members of the Binghamton University community. Congratulations. It's now my pleasure to introduce Provost Donald Hall.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be among those celebrating with you today as Provost of Binghamton University. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate all of our graduates and their families and friends who have supported them throughout their time here on the many achievements we are recognizing today. You are truly remarkable students, the best I've ever seen in my career. You've brought your intellectual curiosity, your work ethic, and sense of humor to bear throughout your time at Binghamton. As you graduate from this wonderful university, you will take with you what you've learned in your classes, through your internships and practica, from the student organizations you've participated in, and from the thousands of personal interactions you've had with those around you. You will take all that you've experienced here, and I know you will become change makers in the world. We are all living in a different world since the pandemic upended our lives, but your Binghamton education and experiences will serve you well, whether you expect to continue your education or head straight into the new world's workforce. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, 83% of employers anticipate increasing or maintaining their rate of hiring for the class of 2024 compared to a year ago. That same organization reports 90% of employers are looking for evidence of applicants who can solve problems, and 80% are seeking those with strong teamwork skills. That's also great news for you because you are leaving us with a strong foundation that has helped you hone your critical thinking, decision-making, and communication skills, and that will serve you well in whatever career path you follow. As you tackle what's before you, the next decisions you might be facing are, what do I want my workforce to look like? How will I maintain a work-life balance? My advice for you is simply to pursue the career path that gives you the greatest satisfaction. Make the choices that are the best ones possible for you, that are there before you to choose among. But as you make your way forward, remember to define your value to prospective employers. Show them that you know well how to solve problems, that you know how to work in teams, that you learn to be a leader at Binghamton University, and that you're a great communicator. These are all skills that come from what you've studied here, and I can't say enough about them. These are skills that will serve you well in whatever endeavors you undertake. So thank you for choosing Binghamton. It has been a pleasure having you here as our students. Congratulations on your many, many accomplishments, and please stay in touch with us and keep us informed of what I know will be stellar careers ahead of you. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Provost Hall. I would now like to invite President Stenger back to the podium to present our honorary degree recipient.
Honorary degrees recognize individuals who, by their outstanding service to the university, the state, the country, and humanity, exemplify the mission and purposes of Binghamton University. Their lives and achievements stand as an inspiration to us all. I am pleased to announce this morning that we will confer one of these honorary degrees. Provost Hall, will you please escort our honorary degree recipient, Govaswamy Vishwanathan, to the podium.
The citation will read, the State University of New York, Govindasamy Viswanathan, as a distinguished, preeminent leader of higher education in India, you founded the Vellore Institute of Technology and spent decades building bridges between colleges around the world. You enjoyed a 30-year career in politics as a member of parliament and as a member of the Legislative Assembly of Tamil Nadu. You then created the Vellore Institute of Technology to provide high-quality education for Indian students that met international standards. The Vellore Institute of Technology serves more than 88,000 students and was ranked first among private engineering colleges in India in 2022. You've driven scholarships for disadvantaged groups, including women and unemployed youth. In 2010, you signed an agreement with the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Sciences that has led to joint conferences, research collaboration, and programs where Vellore students earn bachelor's and master's degrees at Binghamton University. Therefore, for your contributions to expanding access to higher education in India and for your dedication to connecting our nations through learning, the State University of New York is pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the State University Board of Trustees, with the faculty of the State University of New York concurring, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, and invest you with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. In token thereof, I hand you this diploma and vest you with the hood appropriate to your degree.
President Harvey Singha, Provost Donald Hall, Dean Krishnasamy Srihari, faculty and administrators on the stage, distinguished guests, and students of Watson College. I am truly honored and privileged to accept this honorary doctoral degree bestowed upon me by the State University of New York here at Binghamton. I am touched by the overwhelming reception extended to me and the Vice Presidents of Vellore Institute of Technology. I value this as a sign of friendship and goodwill for the VIT community and myself. I am delighted to reciprocate with greetings and good wishes from the VIT community and myself. The endeavors, initiatives, and contributions of Binghamton University to the higher education landscape has been quite impressive. It has been a great pleasure meeting and interacting with the top leadership, faculty members, and students of this amazing university. As Chancellor of VIT, I know the importance and positive impact of collaboration and partnerships, and I am confident that such interactions will facilitate continued academic engagements. VIT was established in 1984 with the mission of delivering high-quality education on par with global standards, while constantly adopting innovative approaches to enhance the quality of education. VIT is home to a diverse community of 87,000 students, hailing from 71 countries and all the states and union territories of India among the 4 campuses, Vellore and Chennai in Tamil Nadu, Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh, and Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh. VIT offers scholarships and fee concessions for economically weaker section, poor people, and international students from underdeveloped and developing countries in Asia, Africa, and South America. Our campuses foster a cosmopolitan atmosphere aimed at promoting cross-cultural learning, and our faculty is committed to nurturing students' holistic growth. At VIT, we follow rigorous standards in teaching and research, which serve as the driving force behind our pursuit of excellence. The achievements of our students in conducting research abroad bring distinction not only to them, but also to our nation, which reflects our commitment to academic excellence. VIT ensures world-class research by collaborating with industry and business through local and worldwide research networks. VIT works for the upliftment of the underprivileged and downtrodden in society. We formed the Universal Higher Education Trust in 2012. Since then, UHET has helped 8,600 poor students, irrespective of caste, creed, and religion, to complete their higher education in universities and colleges. This initiative is aimed at making the district a model in the country to increase the gross enrollment ratio. As a country, India is lagging behind in higher education with 27% of GER. This is the only district out of 806 districts in the country where UHET scheme is implemented without any financial support from the state or federal government. We encourage students from all the states of India to come and study at VIT, particularly from geographical regions that can be considered as educationally regressive. VIT STARS support the advancement of rural students is called STARS. Support scheme helps students from underprivileged background to achieve what they desire by giving them 100% fee waiver for their tuition and the hostel fees also, including basic medical expenses. The transition to higher education, which is particularly difficult and expensive for the rural youth, requires such support. To make this a reality, VIT has launched this social innovation scheme. Based on their good school grades, 2 students from public schools, one boy and one girl, located in the rural districts of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh are chosen under the STAR scheme. Most of the selected meritorious students are first-generation graduates who are from below poverty line families. The selected students are admitted to VIT for their undergraduate education. These commendable students are provided a full scholarship at VIT and includes on-campus housing, food, healthcare, and other academic facilities. I acknowledge and appreciate the long-standing partnership between VIT and Binghamton University. Over the years, our partnership with Binghamton University has been marked by innovation and shared academic pursuits, especially with Thomas Watson College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Together, we have embarked on a journey of creation, exchange, and dissemination of knowledge that enriches the academic experience of our students and faculty members. Through joint research projects, faculty exchanges, and collaborative publications and initiatives, we have not only expanded the horizons of our academic endeavors, but also fostered a spirit of global learning and understanding. We strongly believe that learning is more than merely committing numbers and facts to memory. The ultimate aim of education is to bring consciousness and facilitate the self-transformation of every individual. The insights gained from our collaboration have advanced our pursuits in respective fields, which have addressed some of the most pressing challenges facing our world today. As we look towards the future, we are committed to further deepening our ties with Binghamton University. We envision a future filled with greater opportunities for collaboration, mutual learning, and impactful research. Together, we can continue to push the boundaries of knowledge and make a meaningful contribution to our communities and beyond. I am extremely grateful to the leadership, faculty, and staff of Binghamton University for their unwavering support and dedication to our shared vision of academic excellence. Together, I am with confident that we can scale greater heights with mutual support and cooperation. I appreciate the intellectual friendship that transcends the boundaries of geography, which eventually continues to promote mutual growth. Let us explore the world together and let us celebrate each other's accomplishments for the years to come. I express my heartfelt gratitude to Binghamton University for this wonderful gesture of conferring the honorary degree on me. I am truly honored and deeply humbled to accept this honorary doctorate which you have so kindly bestowed upon me. I would like to thank all the authorities, President and others for having done this. I also thank Professor Srihari for taking the initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chancellor Viswanathan, for your remarks. I would now like to introduce our Alumni Association President, Cara Treadell. Cara, would you like to share congratulations on behalf of the Alumni Association?
Congratulations to you, Binghamton's class of 2024. It is truly an honor to be here sharing this occasion with you as the president of your Alumni Association. It's hard to believe that just 8 years ago, I was sitting where you are, feeling these same emotions as you. I was excited to begin my next phase, but sad to be leaving friends and a place that became second home to me. It was also overwhelming to think about the many adjustments I'd have to make in moving from campus life to being out in the world, including moving back in with mom and dad. Our alumni community has been a tremendous source of support for me. It's why I've continued to be engaged with the university, and it's why I encourage everyone else to be involved. I acknowledge that I'm standing before you quite young, and I have to be honest that when I was elected to become the president of your Alumni Association, I was nervous. I was nervous about leading a group filled with so many achievements and accolades while I was still growing into my own self. What I quickly found was that I had no reason to be nervous. I was, and continue to be, surrounded by a community that provides endless support, encourages success, and celebrates wins. By graduating today, you are automatically a member of this community, the Alumni Association. Inside your diploma cover, you'll find a card that talks about what is available to you. In addition to the friends you've made here on campus, you have a worldwide network of alumni you could tap into. More than 150,000 people across more than 100 countries. Wherever you go, there is likely to be a Binghamton grad who can offer support, answer questions, or just chat about your shared Binghamton experiences. What I like to say is don't be shy about reaching out. I know I'm typically not. There are also many opportunities to stay connected with the university, and you don't need to be here on campus to achieve such. The Alumni Association connects you with other Binghamton alumni, helps to build skills that can translate to your professional life, and expand your network. Overall, we are a resource that I encourage you to take advantage of, even if it's simply connecting with us on LinkedIn or popping by our tailgate tent during homecoming. Enjoy today with your family and friends. Experience all the feels, and know that you're ready for wherever life takes you. You're a Bearcat, you could do this. Again, congratulations. Your Alumni Association is excited to have you.
Thank you very much, Cara, for your remarks. At this time, we will recognize the accomplishments of our master's degree candidates. Will the candidates for master's degrees from the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science please rise? President Stenger, I'm pleased to present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their master's degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Could I please request the master's candidates from biomedical engineering and computer science to remain standing. All others may be seated. Will Kai-Ming Ye, SUNY Distinguished Professor and Department Chair for Biomedical Engineering, please approach the podium.
So, President Stenger and Dean Srihari, as the chair of Biomedical Engineering Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their master degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Ryan Soren, please lead the candidates to the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Emiliano Dreshai. Bethany Ann Smith. Christina Marilyn Coulton. Ashley Maria Ramos. Julia Rita Perota. Benjamin David Biniskevich. Rachel Marie Layton. Rachel Lauren Berger. Sierra Elizabeth Yonko. Jenna Mahabir. Michaela Christine Lynch. Colin McManus Walsh. Chandyana Rohita Kalari. Gauri Manoj Patwardhan. Ryan James Saron. Alisha Shetty. Shivangi Chavan. Daniel Istak Marosh. Jonathan Gerald Dietrich. Rebecca Gerber. Pauline Feilt Atienza Macapin Lack. Anthony Fontana. Michael Jean Sung. Kristen Elizabeth Allen. Brian Lawrence Flynn. Hunter Ryan Colomillo. Leah Morgan. Will Wei Meng, Distinguished Service Professor and Department Chair for Computer Science, please approach the podium.
President Stenger and Dean Srihari, as Chair of the Computer Science Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their master's degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Karthik Shanmugam, please lead the candidates across the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Karthik Shanmugam. Karthik Gunashekar. Mukundan Sriram Balaji. Rohit Regimon. Manjusha Samadhan Desle. Dimple Singh. Jason Gonzalez. Anthony Jeremy. Jessie Sharon Bugala. Jocelyn Abraham Nadar. Wing Ying Lee. Elizabeth A. Coolidge. Sanya Singh. Pradeep Kumar Ramesh. Pranav Kunchitabadam. Ashish Kuriveli. Mishal Ashraf. Shravya Narayana. Venkat Ashrit Kankipatti. Bhavya Srija Sakamuri. Akhil Pragalapatti. Naga Koteswara Rao Polisetti. Vishnu Mohan Reddy Bora. Anirudh Nori. Satvik Krishtipatti. Sankarshana Sharma Dorabala. Jwalant Vishwesh Bhatt. Omkar Sumir Prabhune. Ryuma Nakahata. Zainul Abedin Nasir. Alexandra Manos. Jared Hunter Ipe. Noah Rogozinski. Vincent Ranieri. Sushant Rajiv. Abhitej Reddy Aurva. Ali Kemal Tanrivardi. Hemant Reddy Curry. Rajashekar Pandiri. Sai Kiran Togiti. Ashish Sutaria. Drashti Praveenbhai Desai. Srishti Aditya Kot. Chandrahas Reddy Onteddu. Navina Somu. Pranati Gubbala. Latish Polavaram. Chetan Radha Prasad. Bhavit Yogesh Shah. Rishabh Nilesh Kotari. Jeel Paresh Shah. Abhishek Anil Satpute. Hemant Singh Rautela. Akhil Thanniru. Jay Aditya Paterla. Santosh Gorja. Himabindu Apikatla. Ravindra Babu Nirumalla. Durga Abhish Satuluri. Avinash Kunnameni. Venkata Purna Vishnuvardhan Kollabaina. Shashank Reddy Karnati. Siva Shravana Kashyap Pathiki. Kunghang Shi. Nikita Mandlik, Kanishk Barhanpukar, Chenfei Liao, Gautam Mehta, Sachin Hanumant Bankar, Humayun Mulla, Mohit Kumar Soparam, Arun Raj Pedala, Chandu Poduli, Tanmayi Kulkarni, Jigisha Sanjeev Jain, Tejal Rahul Daga, Harshal Ganesh Bhavane, Sayoni Arup Nath, Shrivara Andila, Saran Paul Tanikonda, Kishore Kumar Basam, Jitendra Vikram Reddy Kovuri, Venkat Sujit Adabala, Janaki Ram Chimata, Sai Uday Nagula, Samshar Sudhir Gadkari, Riddhi Ashish Jaju, Avani Fase, Kanchan Dhyaneshwar Dongare, Akarsha Chug, Nikita Chaudhary Ravi, Bhargav Teja Donga, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Kode, Omkar Shinde, Rajat Dhyaneshwar Nipane, Yuraj Dilip Vartak, Chelsea Olivia Fernandez, Pradnya Bhukan, Mihir Jetwa, Vrishali Anantarao More, Paritosh Jitendra Marathe, Dhanashri Vinayak Borkar, Bhakti Bharat Kadam, Charmil Kaushik Shah, Fanindra Singham Setti, Ramanaga Satya Harsha Tamanna, Akhil Gavara, Chanakya Vantipenta, Mohammad Amir Mohiuddin, Akhil Madiri, Aditya Mohan, Arif Khan, Gauri Vijay Sonavane, Om Namdev Rao Phale, Harshita Jonalagadda, Sagarika Patial, Tanuj Patil, Rishikesh Rajesh Mane, Gaurav Gopal Pachpande, Pavan Gangareddy, Yashasvi Dattatreya Hasarali,
As chair of the System Science and Industrial Engineering Department and director for the Watson Institute for Systems Excellence, I am honored to introduce our graduate student speaker, Basil Sultan. Basil is a graduate of the Industrial and Systems Engineering Master's Program, excelling in his studies as an online Engineering student while working as a graduate research associate in the Project Management Office at Foxconn Industrial Internet, or FII. Located in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, through the WISE program, an Institute of Advanced Studies at Binghamton University that works with industry sponsors on applied research. Most notably, Basil recently earned second place in a supply chain and logistics competition at an international conference for industrial engineering and operations management in Dubai, following his victory in a national competition here in the United States. We are very proud of Basil and his achievements. Basil's future plans include pursuing a doctoral degree in industrial engineering with a certificate in economics and management. Please join me in welcoming Basil Sultan to the podium.
President Stenger, Dean Srihari, esteemed guests, department chairs, faculty, staff, friends, families, and members of the class of 2024, good morning. Dear graduates, congratulations. Today marks a significant milestone in our journey. As the 2024 Watson Masters student speaker, I'm honored and proud to stand before you. As we gather on this big day, celebrating the culmination of our educational journey at Binghamton University, I'm moved by the stunning beauty and nature that surrounds us. After completing my bachelor degree, I faced numerous rejections while seeking opportunities for a master's degree. Do you think this pulled me down? Definitely not. On June 5th, 2022, I was swimming in a valley in the Arabian Gulf region between Oman and Yemen when I received an email informing me of my selection for a research assistantship with the Watson Institute for Systems Excellence, or WISE, with only 2 weeks to relocate to the US. In a whirlwind of activity, I sold all of my belongings and embarked on a new chapter in my life. I remember vividly when I first arrived here from Palestine. I found myself in a completely new environment. For those of you not familiar with WISE, it plays a pivotal role in bridging the gap between classroom learning and industrial needs by providing students with opportunities to conduct their research assignments in real industrial settings. I remember I had only 4 days at the university campus before the start of my research assignment in Texas. On the first day, my to-do list was so long. I had to get my university ID, and there was a mountain of forms to tackle. That morning, for the first time in my life, I saw a deer. Well, you might see what's unique about that. Remember, I'm used to camels. What I'm trying to convey to you here, my fellow graduates, is this. Do not lose sight of yourself amidst life's struggles. Embrace challenges, find joy in them, and seize every opportunity comes your way, no matter how daunting it may seem. My friends, our achievements reflect not only individual brilliance, but also continuous support from our families. I express gratitude to my parents who unfortunately cannot be present at this graduation. Reaching this milestone in my life would not have been possible without their support. I am certain that you have had a mentor in your life. Let's take a moment to express our gratitude to them, to reflect on those moments when we truly needed their support and guidance, and they were there for us. Thanks for believing in us, for inspiring us, and for guiding us on this incredible journey. Special thanks to my mentors, Dr. Daryl Santos and Dr. Muhammad Khassauni. As we transition to the next phase of our studies, or start our career path, let's carry the lessons learned here. Simply stated, success is measured by positive impact. Failure is a stepping stone to success. We can take a pride in our accomplishments because we are not merely college graduates. We are leaders. We are change makers. Let's take a pride in our identity as Binghamton University graduates who will make contribution to the entire world. Our responsibility is to bring positive change, making ourselves, our families, and our university proud. President Theodore Roosevelt one day said, "Believe you can, and you are halfway there." Fellow graduates, I truly believe we are halfway there. Trust in your abilities to conquer all challenges ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Basil. Will the candidates for master's degrees from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and System Science and Industrial Engineering please rise? I now invite Doug Somerville, Professor and Chair of Electrical and Computer Engineering, to please approach the podium.
President Stanger and Dean Srihari, as Chair of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled their master's degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Rulin Zhang, please lead the candidates across the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Ruilin Zhang, Ryan M. Miller, Daniel Ian Nissim, Bryce August Stratcher, Artemus James DeWalder, Triana Estella Cano, Cassidy Cynthia Roberts, Bia Malvi, Amog Rajiv Johari, Thinley Dobge, Chimi Dem, Mozanki Ashok Kumar Bavsar, Nisha Dishant Patel, Gayatri Manoj Patwardhan, Girish Shashikant Patil, Sung Min Choi, Bowden Landis, Dylan Hunter Leyland, John Pisani, Oyedipo Oyerinde, Adilet Fazil Kareem, Jordan Alexander Madden, Siddhant Chaurasia, Leanne Flynn, Muhib Khan, Andrew D.O.K., David Goldhirsch, Jason Tank, Ryan Serafin, Rory Thomas Finn, Trevor Thor Crofton. Will Paul Sharot, Professor and Department Chair for Mechanical Engineering, please approach the podium?
President Stenger and Dean Srihari, as chair of the Mechanical Engineering Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their master's degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Keith Ogden, please lead the candidates across the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Keith Matthew Ogden, Caitlin Elizabeth Brooks, Kyle Richard Waith, Zachary Tyler Lipton, Muralidhar Chetan Kumar Patel, Mohammed Jasser Issa Abdul Razak, Mohammed Matahan, Zachary Yale Sloan, Alina Bennett Dubin, Jacob Tuia Laur, Alison Jane Garipo, Priscilla F. Pomerantz, Eric Julian Olivia Cadalzo, Connor Richard Kanyuk, Jonathan Sutton, Samuel Spencer Peter Freund, Hassan Ahmad Hussein Al-Bataina, James Timothy Caracciolo, Adam Christopher Reichert, Nicholas James Omeste, Daniel James McKay, Ian Bermeo, Andrew Patrick Ritchie, Brianna Shamika Thompson, Vaibhav Hemant Sharma, Aditya Parikh, Jack William McDade, Adeen Sizik, Siddesh Pandit, Jitin George, Thomas Cardinali, Andrew K. Kirkorian, Awais Ahmed Jamil Ahmed Chowdhury, Akshay Prakash Jadhav, Rawan Imhad Kiwan, Sai Babzi Saride. Will Mohammad Khasavne, SUNY Distinguished Professor and Chair for System Science and Industrial Engineering, please approach the podium.
President Stenger and Dean Srihari, as Chair of the System Science and Industrial Engineering Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their master's degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. I now invite the candidates from System Science and Industrial Engineering to cross the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Joseph Philip Trombetta, Chris Florentino, Cesar Linares, Cameron Adam Cretaro, Fernando Toledo, Corey Anthony Ryan, John William Cuff, Cole Steele Annie, Nicholas Richard Arfanis, Andrew James Moore, Matthew De Orlando, Mohammad Khalil Ghali, Emily Renee Bancroft, Farid Capel Floriant, Nicole Rose Dates, Frank Alfred Vecchione, Nida Ali, Ian Michael Murray, Savannah Margaret Sidoti, Jessica Lauren Jursak, Isabella F. Bostina, Sierra Marie Ekaveria, Isabel Reese Hanchett, Jocelyn Jasmine Ortega, Basel Sultan, Anthony Thomas Pasilio, Samara Lee Gracer, Akshay Gangadhar, Satya Krishna Lanka, Ramesh Peddada, Rohit Agurla, Sai Kumar Deshabaina, Sai Shrikant Reddy Kolli, Ratnadeep Kamisetti, Abhinay Lingam, Tejas Mahadik, Douglas Pong, Nicholas Charles Van Duysen, Ye Chen, Sai Kiran Reddy Munnangi, Bhagyashri Nitin Narkade, Harsh Maheshbhai Mistry, Nishant Nareshbhai Trivedi, Ahmad Al Halbe, Abhishek Sriram Navkar, Sambit Samantare, Ganesh Yadav Suraboina, Miriam Flores, Rahaf Matahen, Pujit Kumar Komberla, Santosh Ravuri, Sujit Perawali, Svetana Sashikumar, Shug Nimri, Ishar Ismail Hussain Rashid, Lubna Al Nasur, Michael Thomas Kryson, Hana Rafferty, Pooja Chitwagi, Basavraj Chitwagi, Vivek Kumar Singh, Nariman Abik, Vishal Machindra Jori, Eileen Diabat, Layan Abu Ghosh,
all master's candidates from the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science, please stand. President Stenger, as Dean of the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science, I'm honored to present to you these candidates for master's degrees.
For those who have successfully completed all degree requirements by the authority vested in me by the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, I confer on each of you the appropriate master's degree with all the rights and privileges which pertain to that degree here and elsewhere. On behalf of the Binghamton University community, I congratulate you on this well-earned accomplishment.
The recipients of master's degrees from the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science may be seated. At this time, we will recognize the accomplishments of our baccalaureate degree candidates. First, we will recognize students who have achieved Latin honors. Latin honors are based on a student's cumulative grade point average. We recognize 3 levels of achievement: cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. The names of the candidates for these honors appear in the commencement program. We will not announce each by name, but we shall recognize students attending today by having them stand in place. Candidates graduating cum laude, please rise. You may be seated. Candidates graduating magna cum laude, please rise. You may be seated. Candidates graduating summa cum laude, please rise. You may be seated. My congratulations to all of you on your outstanding academic achievements. Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees from the Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science please rise? President Stenger, I am pleased to present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Will the baccalaureate candidates from biomedical engineering and computer science please remain standing? All others may please be seated. Will Kai-Ming Ye, SUNY Distinguished Professor and Department Chair for Biomedical Engineering, please approach the podium.
President Stenger and Dean Srihari, as Chair of Biomedical Engineering Department, I present to you this candidate who have fulfilled all their baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Diana Matsumoto, please lead the candidate to the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Now me. Yeah. Thanks, Mira. Yeah. Dr. Green. Deanna Joy Mazamuto. Daniel Lawrence Kozerski. Alex David Ropars. Craig D. Kahn. Gabrielle Marie Taylor. Alexa Atanos Varlamaros. Lindsay Elizabeth Phillips. Clara Mia Rodriguez. Megan Christine Cronin. Joseph Michael Heinley. Matthew Elliott Lyon. Daniel S. Lounsbury II. Travis David Phillips. Christopher Louis DePaula. Thomas Paul Moyer. Emma Lombard Bryce. Kelly Kathleen Sanders. Logan Clifton Jeffers. Ryan Jeffrey Hoskins. Jenna Danielle Leonardi. Kelsey J. Moorhead. Jeffrey Charles Pernomo. Matthew Abraham Mosensen. Jack Dylan Taylor Cox. Ryan John Ginley. Ryan Thomas Goodman. Dayani K. Lovelace Monroe. Olani E. McCarthy. Fina Liu. Alejandro Devon Samuel Whitshire. Allison Gulkowitz. Emily Jane Weisenfeld. Molly Ann Abernethy. Erin Elizabeth O'Neill. Gavin Alexander Barone. Farah Lauren Lito. Dimitri Geravsivos Gavusis. Michael Patrick Ryan. Lucas J. Policki. Donna Galoob. Alex Ann Bacon. Molly Aaron McClelland. Luke Allen Whalen. Emmanuel Morales Paz. Anne Budia. Alyssa Faith Nelson. Frances Nakita Richmond. Anastasia Zaleski. Jaden R. Munson. Caitlin Rose Winter. Julianne C. Donahoe. Megan C. Tyler. Meghana Wynne Viswanathan. Madeline Joan Machino. Madeline Shea Walker. Francis Lee. Amy Heron Kim. Wenny Chen. Julia Maticio. Krista Anna Marie Deason. B. Casey. Isabella Catherine Fredrickson. Deirdre Eileen Young. Wilwei E. Meng, SUNY Distinguished Professor and Department Chair for Computer Science, please approach the podium.
President Stenger and Dean Sirhari, as Chair of the Computer Science Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Student Marshal Emma Tobolevich and Department Marshal Joseph Schindler, please lead the candidates across the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Emma Lauren Topolovic. Joseph Manfred Schindler. Nicholas Robert Fazio. Uzgar Tuna Emanoglu. Omar Farouk Tichi. Melis Atagun. Ali Gorgon. Baris Turgay. Busra Sahin Demirci. Zainab Bus Tosener. Elif Dort Kardesh. Thomas Alexander Granados. Ji-Yoon Park. Christopher Robert Pothast. Jimson James. Nick Sorello. Parjan Amraji Amin. Simku Tevya. Jonathan Matthew Shaw. Joshua Michael Minutello. Adrian Sukuvia. Kenichi Okoye. Dior Makamuf. Bhaskara Yashwant Bitra. Emery Ventura. Ian Russell Lees. Daniel Orbach. Moses Anthony Valladares. Vincenzo Jude Cateno. Stephen Reed Winakaitis Scott. Luke Sipniewski. Andy Zhang. William Tung. Timothy James Peck. Andrew Niam Pong. Brandon Bain. Kevin Edward Maynard. Joshua Daniel Gordon. Ethan Anthony Lee. Cameron James Kephart. Nicholas Samuel Molieri. Jared Davis. Alexander Jacob Cass. Julia Marie Maiolo. Santiago Alejandro de Pascale Carreña. Jeremy Alexander Asher. Jennifer Yuan. David Xiaowei Guo. Bian Suzuki Wolf. Matthew Ciclini. Anthony Tom. Aubrey Stryer. Michael Jason Rizzuto. Gianna Alessandra Orafino. Christina Cruz. John Perez. Joan Marie Jenny Leon. Chantal Dominique Imani Jenkins. Kalia Madison Kugler. Anna Kazina. Matthew Stephen Temkin. Zoe Zoe. Ivan Lamb. Jason K. Chen. Maxwell Graham Parker Blue. Sharika Asan. Jason Ryan Dunn. Mark Daniel McMahon. Brian Alexander Matzel. Alexander Scott Walsh. Liam Walter Murphy. Courtry Megan Moan. Thomas Michael Banagura. Mert Aideen. Adam J. Girari. Matthew James Murphy. Jason Anthony Vitale Jr. Brandon Augustus Ceravino. Udi Aaron David. Daniel F. Dasi. Leora Adina Dallas. Dylan Thomas Aldrich. Anna Giunta. Jacob Avery Singer. Adrian Tomas Jaziorski. Jonathan Francis Shin. Claire X. Pan. Gregory C. Katchis. Luke Smith. Ariel Nabavian. Sean Patrick Lewis. Andrew Liu. Sarah Wu. Vivian Huin. Kyle Enriquez. Amin Kanatu. Anthony Christopher Albanese. Nicole Sarah Chan. Calvin Edward Wetzel. Roman Michael Raguso. Taylor Lauren Bruck. Emily Ann Green. Johnny C. Ruan. Seth Allen Brocalis. Jonathan S. Ivers. James Luke Leffer. Justin B. Sheehan. Elizabeth Alexandra Potapova. Tyler James Ramos. Ezra Joseph Dreyer. Alexander James Carter. Yi Ting Zhou. Jenny Chen. Tiffany Chan. Vivek Raj. Ali Sohail Khilji. Matthew Scott Kabisa. Aidan Caulfield. David Christopher Lyko. Ledwiska Toribio. Matthew Reyes. William Kenneth Bezana. Patrick Gallick. Gizem Yavuz. Eyul Nur Karioglu. Sarp Akar. Ali Khan Bek. Ahmet Ezdesir. Mustafa Dora Demikir. Nilsu Bozan. Saline Yildirim. Gordon Liang. Gisak Rao. Christopher Yu. Peter Hongfei Lin. Joshua Getmaitan. Winnie Yang. Anita Hong. Rain Imperial Malcolm Bay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. As SUNY Distinguished Professor and the Chair of the Biomedical Engineering Department, I have the pleasure of introducing our undergraduate student speaker, Claire Rodriguez, a biomedical engineering major and a student standout within Watson College. Clara transferred to the Binghamton University in 2021 as a Watson College scholar and immediately invested herself in the many opportunities at Binghamton. She discovered her passion for research as one of the Binghamton's first 2 Beckman scholars and proceeded to serve as a research intern each summer on the McNair Scholars Program and the Louise Stock Alliance for Minority Participations Program, through which she has presented her impressive work at both regional and international conferences. Outside the lab, and Claire served as a mentor to other students from underrepresented backgrounds, using her own learning experience to help guide them on path to success. Claire will pursue her PhD degree in biomedical engineering post-graduation at the University of Central Florida. Claire, please proceed to the podium at this time.
To all of the faculty, staff, administrators, friends, relatives, and especially to my graduating class, good morning. My name is Clara Rodriguez, and I transferred to Binghamton University in September of 2021. My undergraduate journey as a biomedical engineering major with a minor in Spanish has been full of adventures. The word adventure may sound a little strange, but it accurately portrays my experience. Adventures are full of plot twists, highs and lows, unexpected encounters growing into new friendships, and the inevitable challenges that come with navigating higher education. When I first came to Binghamton, I quickly realized that I could not live the way I did at home. Food doesn't magically spawn in the fridge here. The weather, however, does change every 5 minutes. Also, on tough days when I was extra tired, I had no one to give me a much-needed hug. The transition period wasn't easy, but I got through it. For instance, I learned the benefit of always packing an umbrella, even on sunny days. In my first semester, I was selected to be part of the inaugural cohort of the Watson College Scholars Program, which helped integrate me into the Binghamton community. In my second semester, I began researching in the biological soft matter mechanics lab. Later, I was chosen as one of Binghamton's first 2 Beckman Scholars, which opened the door for me to present my research at national conferences. I also became a Ronald E. McNair Scholar and began taking my first steps to prepare for graduate school. These achievements were not without their sacrifices. The stressful night studying oftentimes felt like fighting an uphill battle. Nonetheless, here I am. Here we are. In the midst of a pandemic, we not only survived, we thrived. We persevered through the tough classes, faced daunting exams, and surpassed what we thought were our limits. We've made friends, gained mentors, and have shared experiences to treasure for years to come. Looking to the future, there are many more adventures waiting for us. Moving deeper into the unknown isn't easy, but let's not forget where we've come from and who we are. Every time you look in the mirror, you will see someone with the potential to change reality. That is what future leaders, budding professionals, daring dreamers, and trailblazers do. We change reality by bringing the world into a better tomorrow. On behalf of the class of 2024, I want to thank all of the supportive faculty and staff who have been our mentors and our friends as we've journeyed to this moment. You are special not because of your accolades, but because of who you are and the encouraging presence you carry. To my fellow graduates, please take a moment sometime today to thank the family, friends, mentors, and everyone who has supported you. Treasure them and check in with them every so often, because we would not be who we are today and where we are today without them. Now, we are people first and students second, so instead of leaving you with elusive platitudes like chase your dreams, I'm going to share with you some practical things I'm keeping in mind for my future in hopes that they help you too. The first, stay connected to people who challenge you to compete with who you were yesterday. Relationships like these push us to grow. Number two, no one accidentally graduates. You're here because you tried. Honor the hard work and commitment you put in by taking what you've learned and building upon it. Finally, remember to count your blessings. Whatever space you find yourself in after this, attitude matters. Encourage others and maintain a teachable spirit. Approach each day with a ready mind and an expectation for great things. We are only beginning to tap into our potential. We have much to offer, and we also have much to learn. Congratulations, class of 2024. This is just the beginning. The best is yet to come.
Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees from the departments of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and System Science and Industrial Engineering please rise? I now invite Doug Somerville, Professor and Chair of Computer Engineering and Electrical Engineering, to please approach the podium.
President Stanger and Dean Srihari, as Chair of the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled their baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Jared Wafsi, please lead the candidates to the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Welcome back. Jared Seth Wafsi. Alexa Xiomara Zelaya. Victoria Helen Williams. Bartosz Obinski. Matthew Kalaman Sutmeyer. Stephen Jonathan Bauer. Joe Buffon. Jacob Patrick Russell. Dean Joseph Birbiglia. Christopher J. Ferrer. Christopher D. Grillo. Alexander N. Kinman. Corey Daniel Levy. Joseph Patrick Donahue. Jenna Olson. Victor Douglas Schutz. Alexander Robert Reichelt. Stephen Andrew Santamorena. Kavya Kakarla. Kai Zhang. Aiden C. Franznik. Andrew Tenazaka. Jack C. Miller. Christopher Thomas Gim. Christopher Joseph Adami. Benjamin Jacob Telfer. Robert Smith. Kevin James Aarons. Arvind Balaji. Krishna Swarup Virati. Jonah Christopher Thomas. Brian Junyun Chen. Michael Alexander Esquivel. Jack Ryan Bonifiglio. Catherine Louise Bach Martelak. Sarah Page Williams. Mary Elizabeth Ronan. Zach Noah Kornreike. Andrew Julius Leung. Eric Lin. Thomas Weidman. Sanjita Bhaskar. Krishna Balapalli. Sai Mahit. Venkaswararo Gutta. Laura Christine Cunningham. Danielle Marie Gerlich. Leah Samantha Dreluk. Michael Joseph Bowen. Kyle Duran. Jack Daniel Recker. Ethan M. Hamlin. Baron Lee. Jason Zhao. Timothy Richard Curtin. Luca Francesco Iacono. Matthew K. Krug. Marco Stanko. Amanda C. Tong. Dylan Ray Anderson. Sarah Noel Sedlock. Andrew Daniel Benincasa. Nicholas Bustamante. Simon S. Bullock. Aaron C. Hurtado. James Vincent Cunningham. D.J. Doherty. Zachary William Mykowski. Justin Martin Anderson. Evan Blaze Moorer. Pierce Benjamin Alvear. Evan Leo Reynaud. Christopher R. Short. Rowan Kaustub Giradaran. Kyle Ellery Janier Jr. Hong Yi Wang. Xiaoyu Louis Lin Sr. Noel Jose. Douglas Edward Wagner. Mahanid Abdelmonium Kamal Abdelmonium. Jolene Lin. Joseph Wayne Voltaggio. Will Paul Sherratt, Professor and Department Chair for Mechanical Engineering, please approach the podium.
President Stenger and Dean Srihari, as Chair of the Mechanical Engineering Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Rachel Koppelman, please lead the candidates across the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Rachel Brooke Koppelman. Mohammed Asif Sheikh Suleiman. Adam James Morrow. Corey James Dexter. Matthew Michael Rancanelli. Marcus Teheim Johnson. Colin Thomas Oswald. Liam Thomas Conroy. Duncan Gabriel McCormick. John A. Fort. Joseph Harrison Green. Matthew Andrew Laurie. Damian Elliott Rode. Daniel Lawrence Shug. Jake Michael Vecchio. Matthew Aiden Houlihan. Eric Timothy Kroon. Brian William O'Keefe. Sean Nicholas Weber. Nicholas Francis Blanchard. Alexandra Lucia Portas. James Clarence Raymond. Justin Damon Baez. Alexander Robert Frenchamore. Alec Philip Litvin. Adine Keeter. Jordan Yadir. Zeus Ray Lamara. Abigail May Balandi. Catherine Lang. Isabel M. Homan. Caitlin Elizabeth Collins. Eric Manuel Lopez de Filo. Thomas John Shakowski. Matthew Christopher Scott. Ryan Gregory Noon. Jake Andrew Peretti. Sophia Lynn Papalardo. Louis Charles Rolls. Matthew M. Hayday. Daniel James Londono. Matthew Paul Baker. Brian Walker Mirchin. Samantha Elizabeth Sova. Benjamin David Talbot. Ethan Jack Insinga. Ryan Joseph Lovelace. Colin G. Kinder. Landon Christopher Erickson. Alec J. Arvidson. Jake Dylan Ritchie. Victor Jairo Obando Valencia. Justin Adam Reicher. Daniel Walter Van Laer. Liam Andrew Wanamaker. Anthony Christopher Treadwell. Alex Osvaldo Santana. Yael Brook. Jonathan Evan Sorosin. I don't have a card. I don't know. Hannah Rose Brodsky. Sophia Lynn Romero. Kaylee J. Hayes. Kirsty Chinchilla. Michael Durawa. Aiden Paul Donovan. Daniel T. Hefner Jr. Alexander Michael Slater. Benjamin Dylan Bray. Hannah Mary Gill. Jackson Thomas Roche. Gottlieb James Tioli. Michael Wolcott Derby. Caleb Penny Kosser. Joseph John Pate. Ashley Jane Harrison. Barbara Alexandra Zavala Pinto. Jack Anthony Malloy. Caroline Hudson Slaney. Ayola Olisa Imika Ader Onmu. Jaden Alexander Lewis. Ryan James Hoyle. Quinn Michael O'Brien. Robert John Walker. Edward Charles Herster. Elliot Philip Lineweber. Tyler Joseph Zierer. Colby Ellsworth Rappel. Jacob Gary. Victor Lawrence Asiolo. Daniel Galaj Studert. Barbara Spite. Asim Ayana Nursanovna Kappa Rofa. Tom Dang. Daniel James Murray. Elijah Quindell Johnson. Wiley Lucian Doiber. Ryan J. Jalowski. Joshua M. Maris. Emilio Rafael Vernon III. Ronan Michael Gasowitz. Jerry Zhang. Zachary William White. Jared Thomas Nicholson. Louis Antoine Dagobert. Sean Michael Savage. Kirsten Grace Talixon. Kathleen Teresa Walker. Zong Yu Ma. Will Mohammed Hassaune, SUNY Distinguished Professor and Chair for System Science and Industrial Engineering, please approach the podium.
President Stenger and Dean Srihari, as Chair of the System Science and Industrial Engineering Department, I present to you these candidates who have fulfilled all their baccalaureate degree requirements as prescribed by the faculty. Department Marshal Aidan Snisky, please lead the candidates across the platform so that all may receive recognition for their academic achievement.
Aidan Cole Snisky. Ian Carl Applebacker. Matthew Sami Baradi. Muhammadu Lamin An. Ian Francis Wendler. Anthony Peter Andriano, Jr. Kate Jordan O'Neill. Molly Murphy Duran. Kierlyn Page Davey. Natalie Ruth Smith. Crystal Hahn. Justin Daniel Eimer. Bridget Marie Koenig. Sarah Eddy. Sophia Fiona Levine. Marlia Rose Perry. Amy Schwartz. Haley Elizabeth Wenzek. Jack Benjamin Melillo. Alexander Gabriel Gervagizi. Madeline Rose Schaefer. Kelly Marika Palumbo. Gianna Nicole Orlando. Valentina Galina Go. Andrew Zane Waldorf. Ryan James Dean. Nicole Alexander Haywood. Rachel C. Liguri. Isabel Thrain Fitch. Ava Karen Greenspan. Aidan J. Duna. Nicholas Bell. Michael Edward Kalman. Yisrael S. Rafin. Daryl Zoe. John Franco Jaden. Emily Rodriguez. Jacob F. Fuentes. Jason Zhao. Eric Ting. Leah Krim. Derek Langone Weisberg. Ashley Chung. Catherine Tai. Evan Chen.
I would now like to ask everyone to please rise as they are able as we sing the Binghamton University alma mater. We invite everyone to join in singing the refrain and the second verse. The lyrics may be found on the back cover of the commencement program. Baccalaureate candidates, please remain standing. Everyone may please be seated. President Stenger, I'm honored to present to you these candidates for the baccalaureate degree by the university.
For all of those who have successfully completed all degree requirements by the authority vested in me by the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, I confer on each of you the appropriate baccalaureate degree with all the rights and privileges accompanying it. On behalf of the Binghamton University community, I congratulate you for this well-earned accomplishment. As is customary, upon conferral of the baccalaureate degree, you may now move the tassel on your cap from the right to the left. Will all the graduates of Watson please rise? All graduates, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, partners, and friends, I present to you the Binghamton University Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Sciences graduating class of 2024.
The spring commencement proceedings of the State University of New York at Binghamton are now concluded. We kindly ask the audience to remain seated for the academic processional. Once the academic recessional is completed, please exit as soon as you are able to allow families and graduates of the next ceremony to enter.